Kevin Costner and singer Jewel now dating?
I don't like drama in my own life personally. I don't like it. Some people seem to thrive on drama.
Kevin Costner has lived through fame, romance, and heartbreak. After years of dating, affair allegations, and 2 tough divorces, many thought his search for true love was over. But now, everything has changed. A new romance is making headlines again, and it's not what fans expected. Is it real love this time or just another Hollywood gossip? Join us as we uncover the twists and turns in Kevin Costner's journey to find love, and meet the woman who may have finally captured his heart. Before the love rush, Kevin Costner was born on January 18, 1955, in Linwood, California. He spent his childhood in Compton, not far from where he was born. His parents were William and Sharon Costner. Kevin was the youngest of 3 sons, though the middle child passed away at birth. His mother, Sharon, worked in welfare, helping people in need, while his father, William, worked first as an electrician and later moved up to become a utilities executive. His father's family came from German immigrants who settled in North Carolina in the 1700s. He was raised as a Baptist and grew up going to church. He didn't enjoy school very much and was never a brilliant student. But even as a boy, he was full of energy and creativity. He played football and other sports, took piano lessons, and even wrote poems. He also sang in the choir at the First Baptist Church. One moment that stayed with him forever was watching the 1962 film How the West Was Won. That movie sparked his interest in Western films and the stories they told. As his father's job changed, the family had to move often. Kevin spent his teenage years in different towns across California. He found it hard to settle down because every time he started to feel at home, they had to move again. Making new friends over and over made him feel unsure of himself. He lived in Ventura for a while, and later in Visalia. He went to Mount Whitney High School, where he joined the marching band, and later graduated from Villa Park High School in 1973. At Villa Park, he continued playing sports and was especially into baseball. One of his teammates at the time was Dennis Burt, who would go on to play professional baseball. After high school, Kevin went to California State University, Fullerton. In 1978, he earned a degree in business. While at college, he joined the Delta Chi fraternity, which helped him meet new people and become more social. It was during his final year at college that Kevin started to think about acting and dancing. Something about performing began to draw him in, even though he hadn't taken it seriously before. Then came a moment that changed everything. While returning from his honeymoon in Puerto Vallarta in 1978, he ended up sitting on the same flight as actor Richard Burton. Kevin wasn't sure what to do with his future, so he took a deep breath and went up to talk to Burton. He asked him about acting and whether someone could become a good actor without having a difficult personal life. Burton told him he believed it was possible and urged Kevin to follow his dream. That short conversation stuck with him and pushed him to take the first steps toward an acting career. Even though Kevin had earned a business degree, he didn't stay in the field for long. He took a job as a marketing executive, but it didn't last. After just 30 days, he quit and decided to fully commit to acting. His wife supported him through this decision. At night, he took acting classes 5 times a week, while during the day he worked different jobs to support their living costs. He worked on fishing boats, drove trucks, and even gave guided tours of celebrity homes in Hollywood. These jobs paid for his lessons and helped him keep trying out for roles. Eventually, all his hard work began to pay off. Kevin started getting noticed in the movie industry. His big break came when he starred in The Untouchables in 1987. That role helped him gain attention. After that, he appeared in several hit films, like Bull Durham in 1988 and Field of Dreams in 1989. He also acted in JFK in 1991, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves that same year, The Bodyguard in 1992, and A Perfect World in 1993. In 1990, Kevin took a major step by not only acting in, but also directing the film Dances with Wolves. The movie was a huge success and won 2 Academy Awards, one for Best Picture and another for Best Director. It was clear that Kevin wasn't just a good actor, but also had the talent to lead a movie from behind the camera. Over the years, he continued to take on large and ambitious projects. He co-produced and starred in Wyatt Earp in 1994. The next year, he took part in the science fiction film Waterworld. Then he directed the 1997 movie The Postman. In 2003, he returned to the Western genre with Open Range, which he also directed. More recently, he directed Horizon, an American saga, a film released in 2024. Kevin Costner's story is one of steady growth. He didn't have an easy path, and he wasn't always sure of himself. But through small steps, hard work, and support from those around him, he turned a dream into a career that has lasted for decades. His journey began with a childhood full of twists and turns, and ended up with him becoming one of the most respected names in Hollywood. Meanwhile, Kevin also earned a reputation for having a long list of affairs throughout his adult life. First, marriage and affair allegation. Back in 1975, when Kevin Costner was still in college, he met a fellow student named Cindy Silva. They started dating not long after meeting. Their relationship grew stronger over the next few years, and by 1978, they decided to get married. For a long time, things between them seemed happy. As their love grew, so did their family. They welcomed their first daughter in 1984, another daughter in 1986, and finally a son in 1988. Together, they built a life that many people believed was perfect from the outside. But after being married for 16 years, their relationship came to an end in 1994. Cindy filed for divorce that November. Afterwards, the couple released a short message to the public, saying they had worked out everything regarding their children and their money. They asked for privacy while going through the difficult process of ending their marriage. At the time of their separation, there were rumors spreading quickly. People talked about an affair between Costner and a well-known hula dancer named Michelle Amaral. These stories came out while he was in Hawaii filming Waterworld, which would later become one of his biggest movie failures. The gossip grew louder when people claimed Amaral had been seen sneaking out of his villa late at night. Some said the affair had been the final blow to his marriage. After the divorce was settled, Cindy was awarded close to $80 million. It was a huge sum, and many saw it as a sign of how serious the situation had become behind the scenes. In an interview in 1995, Costner admitted that he had made mistakes. He didn't share exact details, but said that everything had fallen apart all at once. He spoke about the pain it caused others and admitted that the failure of the marriage was his responsibility. When asked about Amaral, Costner said he never even spoke to her over the phone. He also brought up other women he had been linked to in the press, including a Playboy model and the daughter of a casino owner. He said all the rumors only made things worse, especially for his wife and their children. The attention, the lies, the stories, it all added to the heartbreak. In that same interview, he said that losing his marriage was the hardest thing he had ever faced. Even after the separation, Costner didn't speak badly about Cindy. He said he still loved her and respected her deeply. He called her a real lady and said she had always been exactly who he believed she was. She had stood by him when he had nothing, working small jobs to support him while he chased his dream of becoming an actor. At one point, she even dressed up as Snow White to make ends meet while he struggled to break into the film industry. As for Michelle Amaral, she was also married and had 2 children of her own when the rumors started. A magazine article described her as one of the best solo hula dancers on the island. Reports said she and Costner met at the Mauna Lani Hotel, and shortly after that, people began to talk. One person who worked on the Waterworld set allegedly saw something and told Cindy. That person was later fired, according to what was printed at the time. The same article claimed that Costner had been unfaithful several times during his marriage. Costner strongly denied all of it. He said Amaral had done nothing wrong and that they had only met to talk about a job opportunity. When her name came up in an interview, he got upset. He said the attention she was getting was unfair and that she didn't deserve to be dragged into his problems. He didn't like how she was being talked about as if she were just part of a scandal. He said she had a family, a name, and a life of her own, and it was painful to see her caught in something she had no control over. Not long after the divorce, Costner began seeing Bridget Rooney. Their relationship didn't last very long, but something important came from it. In 1996, Rooney gave birth to a son. Rooney came from a powerful and wealthy family. She later married billionaire Bill Koch and is related to the family that owns the Pittsburgh Steelers. She's also the aunt of actresses Rooney and Kate Mara. Even though Rooney said she was completely sure about who the father of her child was, she still asked Costner to take a paternity test. According to a report from 2002, the situation dragged on for months. In the end, it is believed that this short relationship ended up costing Costner around $7 million. Costner's life during these years was filled with ups and downs. There was love, family, fame, heartbreak, and scandal all mixed together. Behind the scenes of his rising Hollywood career, his personal life was complicated and full of emotional struggles. Despite the wealth and success, those years carried a heavy price. However, that's not the end of it. Finding love again. Kevin Costner and Christine Baumgartner's story began many years ago. Around 1996, while Kevin was working on a film, he saw Christine again. They had met before, but this time, in 1998, they started dating. Back then, Kevin wasn't sure he was ready to fall in love again. He was still healing from past experiences and didn't feel prepared for something serious. Both Kevin and Christine had gone to the same college, California State University, Fullerton. Christine studied business, and after finishing school, she built a career for herself. Years later, their relationship became more serious, but it still took time before they decided to marry. One reason it took so long was because Kevin wasn't sure if he wanted to have more children. This fear caused a breakup in 2003. Christine had always been clear. She wanted kids. Kevin, however, was afraid he might not be a good father again, especially since he already had children from a previous relationship. Even with that, he had to face a hard truth. He asked himself if he was really ready to let go of a woman who truly loved him, just because he was scared. That moment made him realize he was risking something very special. So, he chose to move past the fear and take the next step with her. They got married in 2004 in Aspen, Colorado. Kevin owned a large 160-acre ranch there called the Dunbar, and the beautiful property became the backdrop for their wedding. Over the next 19 years, their family grew. Together, they had 3 children, 2 sons named Caden and Hayes, and a daughter named Grace. Kevin took a break from acting for 4 years to spend more time at home with his growing family. In 2011, he shared that he had stepped away from Hollywood because he wanted to focus on his wife and children. In 2020, Kevin opened up about how much their relationship had grown. He talked about how they had learned to support each other and manage life as a team. But by 2022, things had started to change. A report came out that Christine was feeling unhappy with how often Kevin was away from home. He was busy filming the popular show Yellowstone, and he was gone a lot. According to the report, Christine had reached a point where she gave him a strong warning. She needed him to be more present. She wanted him to make a clear decision about whether he would continue on the show or put his family first. Despite their long marriage and shared memories, things came to an end in May 2023. Christine filed for divorce after nearly 2 decades together. The news shocked many people. Kevin's team asked the public for privacy, explaining that he had been forced into a difficult situation and that it was not something he wanted. People began to wonder if something more had happened, perhaps cheating, but close friends strongly denied that. One longtime friend said there had been no cheating at all. According to reports, Kevin had not expected Christine to take such a big step. He still cared deeply for her and their children, and he would have welcomed her back. A source said he was sad and disappointed because he still loved her and valued their family life. Christine, who was 49 at the time, asked for joint custody of their 3 children. By then, their kids were aged 12, 14, and 16. The divorce process moved forward in the following months. In July 2023, Christine was ordered to move out of their shared home. The family had been living in Ventura, California, in a home not far from the ocean. They also owned another house in Santa Barbara, right on the coast. They had a prenuptial agreement, and it was enforced during the legal process. In September that same year, a judge decided that Kevin would pay Christine $63,000 a month in child support. Finally, on February 20, 2024, the divorce was finalized. Their relationship had gone through many highs and lows, from uncertain beginnings to building a family, and then slowly drifting apart. Their story had many layers. For years, they made it work, building a life that included children, homes, love, and challenges. But in the end, even a deep bond and years of shared memories weren't enough to keep them together. What started as a long courtship turned into a nearly 2-decade marriage full of family life, personal growth, and career choices. Though their story didn't have a happy ending, it was still filled with meaningful chapters. Both Kevin and Christine had to make hard decisions, not just for themselves, but for their children too. And now they move forward separately, still connected through their role as parents, even as their paths continue in different directions. But interestingly, there seem to be some cases tied to their divorce. Controversies surrounding Kevin Costner's private life. In 2004, Kevin Costner and his wife Christine Baumgartner were spending their honeymoon at a 5-star hotel in St. Andrews, Scotland. The hotel, known as the Old Course Hotel, offered luxury and peace, but the trip took a dark turn when a female masseuse who worked there accused Costner of behaving inappropriately during a massage session. According to the woman, while she was giving Costner a massage, he dropped his towel and exposed himself. The woman, who was 34 at the time and whose name was never made public, claimed that she felt shocked and disturbed by what had happened. Though he was a famous actor, she said that didn't excuse his actions. She believed it was a serious act and that he had taken advantage of his position. She later told others that she had felt exploited by the encounter and thought it should have been considered a crime. However, no criminal charges were filed against Costner, and he was not taken to court over the matter. Instead, the masseuse filed a case against the hotel itself, saying she had been fired after reporting what had happened. She believed the hotel had not taken her seriously and treated her unfairly after she spoke out. The legal complaint was about unfair dismissal and discrimination. It was brought before a tribunal in Dundee, Scotland, in 2006. The tribunal chairman, Nicole Hosey, eventually revealed that the woman and the hotel had reached a private agreement outside of court. Because of this, the tribunal did not discuss whether the accusation against Costner was true or not. Their job was only to deal with the dispute between the woman and the hotel. Until then, Costner's name had been kept out of the reports, but Hosey decided to lift the restriction. He said that there was no good reason to keep the actor's name secret, and that the press should be allowed to report on the allegations, clearly marking them as unproven claims, not facts. Costner's team also spoke up. His spokesperson, Paul Block, stressed that the case was never directly about Costner himself. According to him, the entire matter was between a former employee and the hotel where she worked. The hotel, on the other hand, gave a written statement, saying they wouldn't comment on legal matters. They confirmed that the dispute had been settled, but chose not to share any of the details, keeping the terms private. Many years later, this old accusation came back into the spotlight after Christine Baumgartner, Costner's wife, filed for divorce. The resurfacing of the incident added more tension to an already difficult situation for the actor. While the old allegations had never led to any criminal actions or personal lawsuits, people started talking about them again because of the split. At the same time, Costner became the center of another swirling rumor. This one claimed that he had gotten a woman pregnant on the set of his popular TV series Yellowstone. The story quickly spread online, especially on social media, where people started guessing whether this was the real reason behind the divorce. Many users shared their thoughts on Twitter. Some speculated whether the trouble with Costner's filming schedule for Yellowstone might have been caused by this personal drama. One user suggested that the rumor might explain the behind-the-scenes tension. Another person even joked that it wasn't another actor from the show who had impregnated a crew member on set, but Costner himself. As these online stories grew louder, people close to Costner stepped in to respond. They called the rumors completely false and denied every part of them. One source close to the actor even said the entire story was nonsense and had no truth to it at all. Despite the denial, the internet didn't slow down. The mix of the resurfaced accusation from 2004 and the recent pregnancy rumor created a storm of gossip around the actor. Both incidents, though unproven and denied, painted a complicated picture for Costner at a time when he was already dealing with personal troubles at home. While neither accusation led to any formal charges or public legal battles involving Costner himself, they added weight to the ongoing attention surrounding his private life. Even though years had passed since the massage incident, its revival alongside the new rumor stirred fresh interest in the actor's personal affairs. Some wondered if there were deeper issues beneath the surface of his marriage. Others saw it as a reminder of how quickly stories, whether old or unproven, can return and cause problems. But when private issues become public, especially involving topics like intimate behavior or infidelity, the attention can be harsh and long-lasting. And even without proof, rumors often shape how people are seen. Costner's public image has gone through many changes over the years. From respected film star to popular TV actor, his career has stayed strong. Still, these stories added pressure during a difficult moment in his life. As he worked through his divorce and the fallout from the stories, one thing was clear: being in the spotlight comes with a price, especially when personal matters become public debates. However, Kevin Costner's story wouldn't be complete without his numerous alleged affairs. Other rumored affair. Aside from his 2 marriages, Kevin Costner's love life has always been a topic of constant attention. Over the years, he was connected to many women, although not every connection turned into something serious. Some were nothing more than brief flings or rumors that faded away with time. One of the first names that came up was Bobbi Brown, a model known for her time in the spotlight. She spoke years later about a wild night she had with Costner. According to her, they ended up at his place after a long night out. Things got a little out of hand, and she admitted to throwing a lit cigarette into his bedroom, which could have caused a fire. Despite the chaos, she made it clear that nothing physical happened between them. It was a short-lived encounter, memorable for its craziness more than anything else. Not long after, when whispers of trouble in Costner's marriage first started making the rounds, he was accused of having an affair with Halle Berry. There was no proof, and the rumor didn't last long. The 2 stars seemed to remain friendly over the years, and nothing more ever came of that story. About a year later, the tabloids moved on to Michelle Pfeiffer. Costner and Pfeiffer were linked briefly, and fans took notice. Pfeiffer, known for her role in Scarface as well as playing Catwoman, shared something in common with Berry, who also once wore the Catwoman suit. Though the rumor sparked curiosity, no real relationship ever seemed to form between Costner and Pfeiffer. In 1996, Costner's love life made headlines again when he started dating Australian model Ellie Macpherson. The relationship moved quickly. Within just a few months, the 2 were living together. Costner was open about his feelings at the time, describing Macpherson as smart, talented, beautiful, and funny. But despite the strong beginning, the relationship didn't last through the year. By the end of 1996, they had split. After parting ways with Macpherson, Costner was seen with Carla Bruni. Bruni was not just a model, but also a singer and songwriter with Italian and French roots. Their time together didn't last long either, and Costner soon found himself in another short relationship, this time with Tawny Little, a former Miss America. Again, it didn't go far, and within less than a year, that chapter had closed too. Next came Kelly Preston, who was married to John Travolta at the time. A rumor began to spread that Costner and Preston had something going on behind the scenes. The story stirred up controversy, especially after one tabloid claimed that Travolta was furious about it. However, nothing was ever confirmed, and eventually the story faded, as most rumors do. In late 2023, Costner's name appeared again in the gossip columns, this time linked to Reese Witherspoon. Both stars were going through separations, and people began to wonder if they had found comfort in each other. But that story was quickly shut down. Witherspoon's team strongly denied any romantic involvement, saying the entire report was made up. The next person to be linked to Costner was singer Jewel. Their connection started making headlines in 2024 when photos surfaced of her sitting on his lap during a relaxing getaway in the British Virgin Islands. It looked romantic, and fans jumped to conclusions. But a few months later, Costner put the rumors to rest during an interview. He said that while he thought Jewel was amazing and special, they were simply friends. He explained that they had never dated and that he valued their friendship too much to let rumors damage it. As 2025 began, more buzz surrounded Costner's personal life. This time, the rumors involved Jennifer Lopez. The two were seen talking and laughing together while celebrating New Year's Eve in Aspen. They seemed comfortable with each other, and a source claimed that after the trip, Costner sent her a large bouquet of her favorite flowers, a handwritten note, and a bottle of champagne. Since then, they had reportedly been talking almost daily. According to the same source, they were planning to meet again for dinner once their schedules lined up. However, contrary to the reports, the photos from that night in Aspen did not show Kevin and Jennifer eating or drinking together romantically, even though gossip suggested otherwise and people were eager to believe there was something more between them. By April 2025, another name was added to the list, but this one wasn't famous. Costner was photographed with a woman during lunch, and headlines quickly guessed that he might be dating again. But this story didn't last long. It was soon revealed that the woman was his longtime assistant, and they were just having a regular lunch meeting. There was nothing romantic about it. Through all the rumors, short relationships, and quick flings, Costner's romantic life after his divorce was filled with ups and downs. Some moments were exciting, others were just misunderstandings. And while his name often made its way into the gossip world, not every story had weight. Many drained out as quickly as they began, leaving only memories of what could have been. Whether Costner would venture into a real relationship soon remained unclear, but fans are watching closely. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.